Welcome back, everyone. We've got another deep dive today, and this one's pretty cool. We got some listener suggestions, and it's all about these educational simulations.
Yeah.
And specifically, there's one called Binary Stars from Open Educational Resources / Open Source Physics at Singapore.
Ah, that's great. And, this simulation is a perfect example of just how awesome open educational resources can be.
Okay, so I think it might be helpful to back up for a second. This is for anyone who might not be super familiar with these open educational resources. What are we actually talking about here?
Well, you can kind of think of them like they're like the best cheat codes for learning. They're these really high-quality learning materials, but they're totally free
Oh,
to
wow.
use, to share, to adapt.
Wow.
It's all about, making sure everybody has access to knowledge.
Okay, so I love that. I love the sound of that. So how does this binary stars simulation that we got suggested,
Yeah.
how does that fit into all of this?
Yeah. Well, it goes deep into how two stars that are locked in this gravitational dance, they interact.
Right.
It's a pretty big concept in astrophysics. It's called a binary star system.
So, okay, for those of us who, maybe haven't taken an astrophysics course recently,
Sure.
can you break down, what is a binary star system and, why should we care about those?
So imagine you got two stars, yeah, and they're not just hanging out there in space, but they're actually orbiting each other.
Okay.
That's what a binary star system is.
Mm.
And you know what? They're actually way more common than you think.
Hmm.
And by understanding them, we can start to understand gravity better, stellar evolution, even black holes.
Whoa. So it's not just pretty stars. There's some serious science going on here.
Oh, yeah.
And this binary stars simulation lets us explore that.
Exactly. It's a JavaScript HTML5 applet,
Oh.
which means it'll run on basically anything.
Yeah.
Your phone, your computer, even if you've got a Chromebook, you're good to go.
Oh, wow. So no matter what kind of tech you have, you can still get in on this.
Yeah,
That's awesome. It sounds like they've really put some thought into making it accessible.
for sure. For sure. You can check it out right on their website.
Okay.
There's an Android app you can download. There's even a YouTube video that explains how it all works.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like learning doesn't have to be stuck in a classroom anymore.
Exactly.
It can be anywhere.
Hmm.
So I noticed there's this other resources section.
Yeah.
What's in there?
Okay, that's where the connections start to get really, really interesting. They've got links to other simulations like My Solar System
Oh, cool.
from FET, which is just another awesome resource for, if you're into space.
Right.
And it's this kind of interconnectedness that makes open educational resources so exciting, It's not just about isolated bits of information. It's about building this whole web of learning experiences.
Yeah, and that actually reminds me of something else that I saw that I thought was interesting. There's a section called accordion FAQ.
Yeah.
And at first glance, it's like a random list, but I feel like there's something more going on there.
Oh, you are so right.
Mm.
That random list, that is like a treasure chest
Okay.
of links to other educational simulations, and it goes all over the place.
What kind of treasures are we talking about?
Okay, well, for starters, there's one for magnetic bars field,
Okay.
and it lets you see magnetic fields, which is super cool because normally you can't even see them.
Right.
And then there's this projectile frog game.
Wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
A frog game?
Yeah, it makes learning physics fun. I mean, who doesn't love launching a frog across the screen?
Okay, there's a frog launching game that teaches you physics.
Yes,
I have to see this. The accordion FAQ section is like a secret weapon.
it really is. And it even has stuff on like cutting edge stuff, like how to use Spotify and Notebook LM together
Oh, wow.
to create audio content for free.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's huge for anyone who's into podcasting or, content creation.
So we've got physics, we've got games, we've got stuff for podcasters. This is wild.
It's a great example of how open educational resources are always changing and connecting with all these different fields. That's what makes them so cool.
So you're telling me by exploring this one simulation, I can learn about binary star systems,
Mhm.
but I can also find all these other learning resources.
Got it.
This is way more than just like a simple educational tool. It's like a gateway to a whole world of learning.
And the best part is, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many other open educational resources out there.
Wow.
They're being created all the time.
Yeah.
Updated. It's amazing. It's easier than ever to find amazing learning experiences no matter where you are or what you're interested in.
Okay, so before we get too lost in this amazing world of educational resources,
Yeah.
let's like take a step back and think about, the listener. We've been talking about this binary star simulation. We've been talking about this incredible accordion FAQ section.
Yeah.
What does all of this mean for your own learning journey?
That's a great question. Think about it this way. Think about all those times you've been like curious about something, right?
Yeah.
But you had no idea where to even start.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you wanted to, I don't know, learn a new skill or
Right.
like dive deeper into a hobby.
Totally.
And even like completely switch careers.
Yeah.
These open educational resources, they give you the tools to do all of that.
Yeah.
On your own terms.
At your own pace.
Exactly.
So instead of feeling like stuck or overwhelmed, you can actually like take charge of your learning and just explore whatever you're interested in.
Exactly.
That's pretty awesome.
It's empowering.
Yeah.
And it's not just about, like individual empowerment either.
Right.
These resources, they can actually level the playing field when it comes to education.
Oh.
Like imagine a world where everyone, no matter where they are, what their background is, they have access to these amazing learning tools.
Yeah.
That's the kind of future we're talking
about. That's the future I want to live in.
Right.
But, let's be real for a second.
Okay.
The internet is already like exploding with information.
So much stuff out there.
How do we even make sure that people can actually like find and use these valuable resources?
Okay, so that's where curation comes in.
Okay.
It's like having a guide in this massive library.
Okay.
By sending us this set of resources, you've already started doing that.
Right.
You're curating your own learning path.
Yeah.
And by us talking about things like that accordion FAQ section, we're encouraging you to explore those connections, and discover even more stuff that you're interested in.
So it's like we're giving you the keys to this like knowledge kingdom. Yeah. And we're saying, go explore.
For it.
But, we're giving you a map and a compass.
Maybe even some insider tips on the best hidden treasure.
Secret spots.
Yeah. And the thing about these open educational resources, they're not just like static things.
Oh, no.
Right.
They're constantly changing.
Yeah.
New simulations are being made. Learning tools are being created.
Right.
The ones that are already there are being updated, improved.
It's like a living, breathing thing.
It is. It's an ecosystem of learning.
So it's not just a one-time deep dive. It's like an ongoing journey.
Keep going. Keep learning.
You mentioned earlier that these resources are designed to be accessible on different platforms.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit more? Like, what's the real benefit of that for the average person?
Okay. So it's all about flexibility and convenience.
Right.
Like, say you're on the train, right?
Yeah.
Commuting, and you're like, man, I want to learn about binary stars.
Right.
You can pull out your phone, open up the app.
Yeah.
You're good to go. Or maybe you're at home.
Right.
You want a bigger screen.
You switch to your computer, pick up right where you left off.
So you can learn anytime, anywhere.
Yeah. Any device.
It's like having a portable classroom in your pocket.
I love that.
It's amazing.
So, and speaking of different learning styles,
Okay.
I'm curious how these simulations kind of cater to that. Some people like to read.
Right.
Some people learn by doing.
Mm-hmm.
How do these resources kind of handle those different needs?
That's what's so exciting about these simulations.
Yeah.
They move past that, that old way of learning where you're just reading a textbook.
Right. Just passively absorbing.
Yeah, or sitting in a lecture hall.
Right.
It's all about doing, right? You're changing variables, you're seeing what happens, you're drawing conclusions based on what you're doing.
That's so cool.
It makes it way more engaging.
Yeah, you're not just like taking in information, you're applying it.
Yeah, you're experimenting.
I bet it makes it stick a lot better too.
Oh, for sure.
Like it's like the difference between reading about how to ride a bike and then actually getting on a bike and feeling the balance. Okay, I'm sold.
Right.
Interactive simulations, curated resources, accessible on any device. It sounds like these open educational resources are like changing the way we learn.
They really are. And remember, this is just a tiny little peek into this whole universe of open educational resources.
Yeah.
There's tons more out there.
Wow.
Waiting for you to discover them.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive, what's like the one thing you want our listener to take away from this? What's the most important thing they can do to kind of unlock this power for themselves?
Stay curious. Stay curious and don't be afraid to, just explore.
Yeah, it's like we've gone from this world where knowledge was kind of like locked away to this like universe of learning.
It's amazing, right?
It's overwhelming, but it's also so exciting.
It is. It's a good kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, it's a good overwhelm. So I think what we've talked about today with the binary stars and that accordion fac thing,
Yeah.
it shows that this stuff isn't just for, like, professors or students.
Right.
It's for anyone who, just wants to learn about the world.
If you're curious, there's something out there for you.
Exactly.
So as we wrap things up here, let's recap.
Okay.
You've learned about open educational resources.
Yeah, all those amazing free learning materials.
Free. That's key.
That's the best part.
For everyone.
Yeah.
We've seen how they can, break down those barriers to education.
Yeah, make it so anyone can learn, no matter who they are or where they come from.
And we've seen how these simulations, like the binary stars, they can change how you learn.
Yeah, it's so much more fun.
Make it more engaging, more exciting.
You remember it better.
But maybe the most important thing we've talked about
Yeah.
is that idea of interconnectedness,
Yeah.
The accordion fac with all those links to different simulations and tools, it shows that learning can be this journey of discovery.
Yeah, you never know where you're going to end up.
Yeah, it can lead you down all these unexpected paths and spark all these new interests.
It's like a choose-your-own-adventure, but for learning.
Exactly. And it never ends.
Never stops growing.
New resources, new connections, all the time.
It's amazing.
So as you continue your own learning journey, just remember that world of knowledge out there,
It's huge.
it's massive and it's always growing.
So much to explore.
Keep exploring, stay curious, and never stop asking questions.
The best advice.
Who knows what you might find out there? Thanks for joining us for another deep dive, and we'll see you next time.